And we are live. Welcome back to the Average Homies of Sigmar. Today, we're going to be talking about dice fails, mismatches in games, in general, overall forgetfulness, brain farts, and rules issues as you play your game. And as well, we're going to do a quick look at Sparwood and where it's at after 2 rounds. I am the average Reaver. Hint at future discussion.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
And I am still the average fiend.
That's right. Gonna try and prove
That
my
could be
wife
taken
wrong.
in so many wrong ways too, right?
The
I'm a
fiend? Yeah.
fiend.
This guy's
But
online
they're all
presence
right.
says he's a fiend. Yeah, average Reaver. We'll see if I can prove my wife wrong. I put in the old group chat between Matt and my wife and said, I hereby say that I will play net Deepkin until the GW Open, play GW Open, and then like the instant response was, I'll believe it when I see it. From my wife.
Yeah.
Very
It's
supportive.
harsh
She
love.
knows. No, but she knows what's up. So yeah, welcome back. Been a week. I think we're
It's been a
week.
week.
We're not.
Yeah.
It's just a week. Yeah, just a week.
Yep.
A week. Yeah. What have you been up to? Yeah.
I last minute on a Saturday. Well, it was Friday night, and we had dinner plans with my parents for Easter dinner that got moved. So it was like it freed up Saturday, and then there was a drop in the X Planet tournament. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna go. And like these are top end players that are there, so I didn't have super high expectations. I would say there was 22 players, and at least 10 of them are in the top 20 for Canada. So there's some like really high caliber players that are there. And I went 2-1 with my current incarnation of my Slaves to Darkness list. And I like was actually really impressed by it. I played Stormcast, which was my one loss, but it was because I was really aggressive. And Johnny, I've played against Johnny many times before, and he played well, and I didn't play well. But it was a great game. He's such a good player. I think, yeah, he's just phenomenal. He is a homie and a half. Then I played Lumineth, and I beat that. It was an unoptimized Lumineth build, and Eltharion ended up toe-to-toe with 2 Demon Princes, and both of them got strike first. And that didn't last long. He failed a bunch of ward saves, and Eltharion went pop. And then my last round was into Sons of Behemoth. And like my opponent, great dude, like we had a blast, but he just was like, he had never played against Slaves to Darkness, and then all 3 rounds in that tournament he had played against a different incarnation of Slaves to Darkness.
3 in a row.
So
wow.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
And yours is the most different. Yours, but like he could not prepare himself for yours.
He played against Legion of the First Prince in the first round, and then Yuri was on just a pretty standard Slaves to Darkness list with Scarbrand, and then mine is like out in left field, and he was like Slaves to Darkness, but it was 3 completely different games. So it was I had a really good time, and I felt as though I learned a thing or two. For example, I was unaware that Sons of Behemoth can move over infantry models when they charge. So I had him completely, what I thought completely screened out, and he just charged over top. And I was like, oh, I didn't know they could do that. But I was able to battle my way through. And I had 3 like pretty good games there. And I think I scored okay. Oh, do you have it up there?
Yeah, I have it right here, actually. So you had a 53 in your loss, a 57 and 73 for 9th place.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 22. Pretty good.
It's 22, yeah.
Yep. And then, big score overall. That was against the Sons of Behemoth, right? Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Age of Sigmar Knights, which will be the cog
yeah.
soon.
So it was soon to be Cogforts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yuri was on. Oh, he's on KO with Scarbrand. That's what it was.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a different Slaves of Darkness list that he played. His name was Raphael. So, but it was it was like he was a fantastic. All three of my opponents were amazing, and it was really good to see at the event itself. And this is one of their invitationals, so I scored points, but it was like the 4th of 5 of the invitationals, so it's unlikely that I'll make top 16, but I did sign up for the next one, so we'll see. Maybe if I can do another 2-1, score some points, and if some people are just not able to make it for the invitational, then maybe I can be in that top 16.
That'd be great, because you got some great prizing for that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like even this one where I think it was $25, like he handed out $200 in store credit pricing. So like out of 22 players at 20, and like I think it's that he takes $15 or $10 from the entry fee goes towards the final prizing, and that's over 5 events. So
because he's
like
moving it forward, like
exactly.
Nice.
So when you're adding $200 every single event to this final prize pool, so it'll be $1,000 of prize pool stuff for 16 players. Like that's the invitational is 16 players. Is going to be good.
It's going to be good.
Yep.
But it's funny, as you point out here. First of all, great result. Not surprised. This Fiend list is crazy. I think we'll probably do an episode going over it at some point.
That sounds good.
Yeah, just because it's so unique and wild, and can either like do a bunch of damage or not, but also recurs itself. So it gets multiple attempts to do a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because you say like these are top players, and I see like top player names here, obviously, in the top out of Ontario. But you see the diversity of it, right? So Sabetti's on Flesh Eater Kurtz. That's the new version of the mini Terrorgeist one I take in.
Yep.
Dodsworth's on the list that I've been practicing on. I've iterated on it a little bit just for my own personal taste, but we kind of put this one on TTS, and I think I like it, so we're going to play it. That's probably going to play the RTT is a version of this. KO, Cruel Boys. That's interesting.
That's Mike. Mike is a really good player too. He's out of I think London, and he usually does pretty well at events that he goes to.
I like his title, 2026 tax return. Yeah, I too use my tax return. Swamp Caller, Gut Rippers, Bolt Boys, Slaga. Oh, it's a bunch of monster killers too. Yeah, it could be good. Like the monster killers are no joke, and Gut Rippers are great. So, and when they make those rolls,
exactly. When you can make your dirty trick rolls, that army is busted.
It's funny. So we remove. Quick point here: we move from a diversity of lists to I've had the Claude, the AI I use, whip up essentially a table on what the results are after 2 rounds at Sparwood. So this is what it looks like after 2 rounds at Sparwood. It's going to show you. Claude is in this group. We know.
False Alarm is False Alarm and Sparwood the same.
Yeah, Sparwood is the place.
Oh, I understand.
Alarm is the name of the tournament.
Okay,
I can't get rid of it. But yes, there's some free advertising for Claude. So you see 58 players, 24 factions. I'm not even sure if there's many factions in the game, but sure. There might be
I think there's 32 in the game.
There? Okay, so 24 factions. So a wide variety of spread of factions. 14 people were serving teams. But again, grain of salt, only after 2 rounds, a 5-round event. Look what we got here at the top. Heat Knights, which is great. But then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 undefeated Lumineth, and 1 Disciples each, 1 Megakin, and 1 Daughters of Cain, which I think is the new book, possibly. Comes out today, I think, right?
Is it today? Yes, it's today.
Yeah. So he's probably on the new book, and he's a real great guy that plays Daughters of Cain all the time. He's from the Edmonton area, and he plays nonstop Daughters of Cain. So this is his time. Also, great dude, great wife. He's the one that I think I showed it to you, the crocheted dice bag.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he hands out crochet dice bags occasionally at events. Yeah, Andrew too is a great guy.
Nice.
But as we see out here, what? Carl On's on Iron Jaws? Interesting.
Yeah, he took them to Adepticon.
Did he? Yeah.
Yep.
And then one Ossiarch Bone Reapers. A Night Haunt, though. That guy's from Edmonton as well.
The one Night Haunt that's at the event.
Yeah, he plays Night Haunt a lot, I think. I mean, I haven't seen him recently around the scene, but at the start of the edition, he was doing really well with, obviously, Night Haunt was
Sure,
really
yeah.
good. Sure, but like I looked at his list today. His list is a bunch of Craven Throne Guard. There's like 3 or 4
really?
units of it. Yeah, I'll pull it up. Let's pull it up. I'll find it here while we're talking about it. West Coast pairings. This list is like, please don't hate me, I'm not mean, I think, or something like that. Oh, another Lumineth win in round 3 as I pull up the list here.
Of course.
He's playing Crucial on Lumineth right now, the Night Haunt player, Ethan. So it's going to be, here we go, share this tab. Please don't hate me, I'm really nice. What is this thing? Deathstalkers. That's the one. What is that?
One unit can run in charge or retreat in charge.
But it's not. It's not the 40-point one, is it?
That's the Quicksilver Geist is the 40-point one.
Yeah, so this is the different one. So that's, I don't know. I is that unusual? I couldn't tell you, but
no, like Deathstalker, you give one unit run in charge, so it's really good. Yep.
Lady O, he's on Restless and Scouting with Morbid.
Perfect.
Lady O
with Morbid. That's interesting.
Yep. 1 Craven Throne Guard, 2 Craven Throne Guard, 1 Powergeist, 2 Powergeist, the Crusader guy for the ignore first point.
Yeah.
Chain Rasps. See, Brad? Chain Rasps. They're good.
Yeah.
2nd Craven or 3rd Craven Throne Guard, 4th Craven Throne Guard, the Vitriolic guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
A non-reinforced Harridan, and then the Black Coach.
Yeah, that's a good list. I like it.
I'll be interested to see how that one does. It's a good list.
It's good because like when Brad and I have been doing some test games lately as he's trying to develop a Night Haunt army that sort of suits his purposes, we found that like Night Haunt don't do a lot. And by that I mean like they're not super aggressive anymore. You can play them that way, but they're not as good as they used to be. And we found that like having a unit of BGR babysitting a backfield objective is 210 points.
Oh,
I think they're 200 now, but 210 points that's just sitting there not doing anything. So if you were to take Craven Throne Guard, which have a shooting attack, these are unreinforced, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're all unreinforced. They're just 5/5. So 20 Craven Throne Guard of 5 of 4.
10
or 4 or 5, rather.
10 wounds. You've got 10 wounds sitting on the objective that shoot.
I think they shoot in combat.
They might. I know Pyregeists do.
I'll check it right now while we're talking.
But like, you've got Pyregeist and Craven Throne Guard. So you've got like all these units that hold objectives really well because they're Night Haunt. Yep. And like I have one model left and I reduce your control score by whatever the battle round is. So like they're just so good. I like that list.
They don't shoot in combat. They auto wound, but one of them gets to retreat and do a bad D3 mortal to the guy it's retreating from.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I really like this list. I really like this list. Like to me, this is sort of like innovating on an archetype that's already been developed. But it's basically saying Pyregeists have been costed through the roof now, so let's choose the next best thing.
Yep.
So I do like the list a lot.
Oh, that's like, what does this amulet do? Because I haven't seen that one before. The Waking Nightmares.
Is that the run
pick an
one?
enemy hero. No, pick an enemy hero within 18 inches of this unit to be the target. On a 3-up, it cannot be obscured and it cannot benefit from guarded hero. Yep. So he's nuking hero. Is he on Massive Pass?
Yeah, Restless Master.
No, Restless Scouting. He's doing it to just pull out support. To have the chance to pull out support guys. Yep. Against me, that'd be really good. Although I fly, so but the guarded hero would take away.
The potion dude can give the Harridans crit mortals as well, or like in essence gives them crit mortals. It doesn't give them, but well, I guess it does, because like you target an enemy unit, and then all Nighthaunt attacks against that unit would have crit mortals. So I don't know if it bypasses getting rid of crit hits or not, but it's a really good. I really like it. But like the poison globadier dude, it is a 3+ roll, so there is a fail.
But you can turn off wards.
Rate, but you can. Yep, there's a
Yeah.
lot that it can do, and I think it's an 18-inch range as well.
10.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's got to be up there.
Yeah, he's got to be up. He's got to be up the front line.
He probably is,
but
I would guess that
he's with the army rule.
Yep. And I guess he'd be hanging out with the Harridans because it'd be a perfect combo with them. Harridans, I think, are just like really good right now.
Move characteristic. Oh shit! I didn't know that. That's a cool one. If the target doesn't move characteristic of nothing, inflict 6 wounds on it. You can nuke a tree.
Yeah. Faction terrain.
Yeah.
Manifestations.
Nice list. we got into it. We got into this Nighthaunt love here, but let's see how this does over the weekend. It'll be interesting. He's into a big test right now against Lumineth.
Yeah.
Especially Crucial. Crucial's playing. Where is he? I played against it on TTS probably. Show us tab.
Oh, is that Matthias?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Warden, Wind Chargers. Oh, the Light of Altharian. Dawn Riders, Blades, Severeth.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
And then Callison told the whole objective. Yeah, I played against this. This is the one I played against on TTS.
Yeah. And I mean, like, he's a Team Canada player too. So
amazing player.
He's top tier.
Top end player. The Altharian just kills me. It's just like every turn. Although now that I know the tentacle, because he's a great guy and told me just throw a tentacle at him and he'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Yep.
All right. That's enough Sparwood for now. Stop sharing. Bring that off. All right. Off to the main topic, I'd say. So yeah, we're going to talk about dice fails is the topic, but like kind of dice disparity. We're veterans of the long dice war.
Yep.
So
well,
kick us off.
Okay, I was going to say I'm going to preface this with the reason why this topic I think is being brought up, why I wanted to talk about it, is Stephen and I were having a game on TTS. What was
Thursday
it?
Or something. Yeah.
Thursday, something. It was through the week. Yeah. And he was testing out his list. I was testing out my list, a couple of variations, and there was a huge dice disparity where I couldn't make anything. I was like attacking with a Demon Prince and doing 0 damage on 3s and 3s type thing. And Stephen was making ward saves and he was doing damage back, and I couldn't make saves and I couldn't make ward saves. And it got to a point where I think we were turn 2. Oh no, it was like I had to double.
Yeah.
And
like you picked one eel up and I took 2 Demon Princes off.
Exactly. It was like it got to me so bad. I was like, it's the beauty of TTS that I was like, you know what? I'm done rolling dice for right now, because like we'll keep playing it out. I think we knew the outcome of how the game was going to be. And I could have, like, if it was at a tournament, I play for points. We're on TTS, it's a practice game, and neither one of us are really going to get a good gauge of what either of our armies do at that point. And like in the moment, I think I was pretty bitter. I think I was a little whiny.
I've heard the turn. I've heard the like tone of voice. Well, especially ironically this time last year with Nurgle Awards. I can tell, and
where it was just like
we'll come to that. Like it's your opponent's body language. You can tell too, right? Like,
yep. And I just simply said, I'm done. I don't want to roll any more dice, because in my brain, it wasn't going to give us any great insight if we continued to play the game. And like I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I generally am not going to say a game is won or lost on dice rolls. There are exceptions to that, but 99% of the time I don't think that I have lost a game because I've rolled poorly. I've lost a game because I've put myself into a situation where I require making these dice rolls. Or my opponent has outplayed me, and I'm hoping that the dice will save me on it. And I like to feel the same way, that if I'm winning a game, it's because I've put myself into a situation where the dice rolls, if they're not in my favor, isn't going to alter the state of the game. In that particular game, Stephen played better than I did, and the dice were in his advantage. And it was just like, I'm done with this game. I'm going to tap out, and we'll carry on. And it was interesting because later on in the evening, we did a round 2, and it was a complete opposite, where
the reverse.
my dice were in favor, but Stephen was in a good position for the vast majority of that game, up until about turn 4, when I took out a crucial piece.
Yeah, when you killed the turtle in turn 4, and I was like, okay, turtle goes in, kills that guy, powers through off whoever, and like goes to the point. But as soon as the turtle died, I was like, that is it.
Yeah. So like there was the role disparity flipped, but Stephen was in a better position through the game than I was in the earlier game.
Yep.
Which is why I just tapped it. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we were near the end, so we're just like, we'll just play this one out to see. So I was like I'd adopted at that point. I was like, all right, teams mentality. How do I score points? How do I stop you from scoring points? Because that's what I was like, I'll just go to the back and try and like do things. But I agree with you. Like, first point, there's a difference between like variance and statistical anomaly of dice. Like, you're not going to get the perfect stats of the dice as you go along, but when something happens where it's like a Demon Prince rolls 6 2s, then it's like, that's a problem. However, one thing we did do on that, which I did enjoy, was we just stopped the first game we're talking about here. We stopped, and then we went on Stats Hammer, and then we're like, okay, what should have died? Theoretically,
that's right.
If we were average, what would have died? We're like, oh, but it did kind of open Matt's eyes on it, where it's like, no, one activation is only 2 eels on average, and then you can spike wards back and forth. So, like, if the wards are average, it's 2 eels for 1 Demon Prince. But, you run the risk of not. And the way the list plays right now, I have it is like 2 big bricks of eels and a turtle. They're all in the same kind of engagement area. So it's not like you can, like, put one piece into 6 eels and take 2 eels and call it a day. It's like you're fighting multiple pieces at the same time. So then it let Matt play a better game plan for the next game, where he's like, I know my Demon Prince should take out 2 eels. Therefore, I will use this many Demon Princes buffed this way and chew at the problem in a certain fashion.
Exactly. Yeah, it was and I had said, like, when Stephen and I were chatting afterwards through some text messages, where I overestimated the damage output of what each of those Demon Princes should have done, because in my mind, I think I had 2 Demon Princes and a Wilder Fiend engaged with 6 eels. In my mind, they should have easily picked up that unit.
Yeah.
But the math doesn't actually work out that way.
Yeah. Yeah, because one of them, you assume that there's a CP for all of defense on one of them. Precisely. And it's against the Demon Prince, most likely. Or, which one? Yeah, it was the Demon Prince. I did it. I did against the Demon Prince because I know the Crit Mortals is there, and I have the 5-up ward from the turtle. But I don't mind going to rend. Oh, and it was the turn 2. It was the tide turn, where it was like -1 rend, because I put it in -1 rend.
Yeah.
So that plus an all out defense put the eels on
4-ups,
threes, because they're 4-ups. So we go all out, or 0 rend 4 to 3 on the all out defense. So really, it skews it the opposite way.
Yep.
So, but yeah, the point of the story being, well, the dice were in the anomaly side of the house on that first game. The way to approach it is, especially, well, in a tournament, it's going to happen, and you're just going to have to work through it. And we'll kind of talk about that in a second. But like, if you're practicing with your friends, you're practicing on TTS, or you're at a store, and it's not a nothing game, but it's a practice game against a friend or someone from the community. Take a step back, analyze. Is it your play? Are you reacting emotionally to what's happening rather? And then kind of analyze what you need to do. because it's like you're still in the moment, still got to play the game. Yeah, there's an option to back out, but if you're playing a real life game and people have committed time and resources, then
Exactly.
just take that step back. You know, if you're in tournament, I'll give you an advice in tournament. You're on the clock, just clock to you. Take 5 minutes, recoup.
Yep.
Yep. Hit the bathroom, get a smoke, stand at the table. I don't know, but like do what you need to do to recenter yourself and go from there. But I agree with you that it is, you know, the dice are information in a sense because if things go wrong one way, it's going to make you look at your plan. And sometimes the plan is good. You know, you could put 4 demon princes into a pack of 6 eels, and sometimes it just doesn't work, and those are the
Yep.
breaks. But you know, 9 times out of 10, it will work roughly the way it should work. And then that one time, it's going to be a legendary eel game, or it's a legendary demon prince game, whatever. That's
Exactly.
Warhammer, and you get those like, oh, that thing killed that. What was it? I mean, not AOS related, but I played Leagues of Votan last week or this last week at 1,000 point level, and the little like anti-tyrannid guy spiked and killed Old One Eye and an Exocrine in one game. And I was like, I will take these
Wow.
things as a narrative win.
Yep.
You should not have done that. Yeah. But you know, the other thing I think we should talk about with the dice thing is like how to be a good opponent. So we're talking about how to be a homie, right? You know, when you see it across the table, if you've played the game for a while, what is wrong? Like, what is a bad dice roll? What is not statistical? And you know how it affects your opponent. Like, how would you, as an opponent, react when that's happening to your opponent?
I think that me personally speaking, a faux pas that I hear a lot of people do is, man, you're rolling like crap.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's that you're reinforcing something that, like, I guarantee you that other player knows that they're rolling
Yeah,
poorly.
they sure do know it.
So you're kind of like rubbing in their face. I played in an event against a gentleman by the name of Sean Nolan, who is an amazing OBR player, and he got diced. He couldn't roll worth anything. And as we're progressing in, and we scored after round 3, and I said, Sean, I wanted to take the moment to acknowledge that I see what is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not saying you're rolling poorly or God, my dice are on fire, but I want to acknowledge I understand that there is a dice disparity happening. And it's like acknowledging and not saying, oh, I'm just outplaying you, because that's not what was happening in that case.
Yeah.
I think one of the worst things you can say, unless you're like good, like, you know, on like a chummy relationship with your opponent, saying something like, man, your dice suck is like you're rubbing it in their face. And that's me personally. I mean, I could be a minority on that.
I think the key thing that you hit on there is that it's even more awkward when you stay silent on it. Like it's the acknowledgement factor. How you do the acknowledgement will depend on circumstances and people and if you're friends with them or not and like the context, and that's what, you know, human beings have to read social interactions and decide on it, even though Warhammer players might not be the best position to read social interactions. But I think the key point, like I said, is acknowledging it, right? Because if you stay silent, it's just like, come on, it's a communal effort here. Like you said, I understand what's happening, or I acknowledge what's happening, or even like a reinforcement too. So for example, if the game like swings one way and it's kind of a done deal, you know that like, yep, that was key, and that you're about to the crackback crushes a flank or whatever, and it puts the game practically out of reach. You know, just be nice to the person. Be like, you don't even be chummy, but like just engage with them as you go through the thing, and just make that conscious effort to be a little nicer as you play through the game. Not saying you're not going to be nice already as an opponent, but like sometimes you're quiet and you're thinking your things, you're doing your redeploys, and you're trying to figure out stuff. But like once you know things are going a certain way, then it's like, okay, let's make sure that people enjoy the play experience. It's at the same time, vice just, you know, go home thinking, well, Warhammer sucks because I rolled poorly and I had an opponent that was silent the whole time.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a chatty Cathy, but I think, like you said, acknowledging it is a key step.
I find that when I'm in like a tournament setting, I can be fairly like chummy with my opponent for the first couple of turns.
Mhm.
And then I find myself when it's their turn, and if they're deep in thought, I stop,
Mhm.
because it's like I don't want to interrupt that thought pattern that
Yeah.
they're going through, and I'll wait until they sort of start to speak again
Yeah.
before I re-engage in the conversation. I know when I went to Edmonton Open last year, I played against a Stormcast player, and I was winning, and he managed to like kind of put his head down. He verbalized what his game plan was, and then proceeded to do his game plan.
Mhm.
And pulled ahead by a couple of points on the fourth turn. And I made a conscious effort to say, like, dude, that was an awesome round. Like you
Yeah.
put your mind to it, and you did it to score your 20 points or whatever it was back, because that was the old GHB, so I don't even remember what the point values were, but it was
It was
like
like under
you put your
50.
head down, you got the points, you did exactly what you needed to do, like, and I acknowledged that he did something good, even though like he ended up losing the game. It was reinforcing that like you made a great decision on turn 4 at that point, and that was the young fella
Yeah, and I played him, I
that
think,
you and I
last year
played. Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, we both played him
Hmm.
in that tournament. And then I played him again at Taps, and he did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I
So it
was,
was like it was
yeah,
it was just reinforcing, especially with a newer player, reinforcing that like what he did a really good job on it. It
yeah,
might not win him the game, but like keep doing that,
mhm,
and you're going to do well.
exactly. And I think it comes down to like you're alluding to here, social context too, right? If you are 2-0 and you're at the top table in RTT, the other person probably knows what's what the situation is. However, if you're 0-2, 1-1, and you're kind of hanging out in the lower end of the tables or the tournament, the other person may not know, or may be new, or whatever. Like they might be very casual, etc., etc.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
So,
like
yep.
on that note too, is like there's been a couple of tournaments that I've been to where I'm 2-0 going into the last round. And okay, I'm playing against Michael Sabetti. Well, he's been here every single tournament that he's ever gone to. And
Mhm.
I've only ever been to that position once before. So this is
Mhm.
like, it's big for me. I'm not going to play any differently, but it is big for me, because if I can win that game, I now have done something that I've only ever done once before. Or I'm in a turn at a GT and I'm currently 3-1. And if I can
Mhm.
win that last game, I've done something that I've never done before.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that happened at a GT that I went to, and I played against a gentleman in the 5th round, and he eked out a win by 2 points. And I was like, I was so happy for him, because we were both in that same spot where we're
Yep.
both 3-1. We've never been a 4-1
4-1.
before. And I was like, hey, cool. And I developed a really cool friendship with this dude too. So now that all the tournaments that I go to, we actively seek each other out.
Nice.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've had a similar one. Like when I played Soul Blight last year, I was 3-1 on day 2, and the guy was also like never been 4-1, and we were like back and forth, came down the last dice roll. But it was like like you say, you're happy for the opponent at that point too, because you're like, oh, you did it,
Yeah.
and like it's 3-2 isn't and nothing to be ashamed of either.
That's a great result.
Yeah, yeah.
For us, that's a great
For us,
result.
it is a great result. If you were someone else, it might not be, but yeah, for us, it
Right.
would be a
Sure.
great result. But on that note, I think we can transition to kind of the next topic. So we talked dice fails, but we can go. We're talking about skill level, so like skill caps or skill mismatch as we go through a tournament. So
Hmm.
first thing we're talking about here, playing up. How do you approach something? You kind of alluded to when talking about somebody. How do you approach a game when you know going in the person's a higher skill level than
Um, I I have had the great honor of playing against Ruben Parker a number of times, and it's usually first round, and I've grudged him a couple of times. Him and I seem to bring the same lists, which is always weird.
you?
And but he's like miles better than I am. And I love playing against him, because especially if it's the first round of a tournament, because I can watch how he plays the game. and adapt my play style, because he does well at tournaments. And if we're playing a list that's similar, I can be like, cool, that's something. And like, I approach it that when I'm playing against somebody who's better than me, that I'm going to try and win, but in the process, I'm going to try and learn more than I'm trying to win. Does that, if that makes sense? Does that make sense?
It's like you're evaluating, you're stress testing your plan, for lack of a better term. You know what you want to do, and you're stress testing against like the hardest possible combination, the player in whatever army, because they're probably playing something fairly good. How does your skill level stack up? And it's a rep to see. It's kind of like a test. Viewing it as a test, like where am I at right now, and then taking the learning from that event as well. Like I played Dom Nelson at the GW Open last year, first round.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing Legion of the First Prince.
Legion?
Yep, Legion of First Prince, a bunch of Bloodletters, and I was playing Nurgle, and we were both on. It was the old GHB. So it's like we both want to go to the center, right? Because we're like, okay, yeah, sees the center, 5 points, and then just because we played a map too where there was like 3 objectives in a row or something. It was all near the center. The action was all the center.
Right.
And I was, trying. He got first. He moved the Bloodletters up. And we played a game, and afterwards he won pretty handily. And I was watching him play his measurement. He's using the clock, which I'm used to anyways from 40K, but we're using the clock, no problem on it. But I see him like how he measured, how he'd make decisions, how he'd move stuff around. And at the end of the game, talk, and I was like, hey, do you have any advice for me? And he's like, no, sometimes like you played pretty well except for XYZ, a couple of misplays. But he's like, other than that, there will be times where you just run into a matchup where you need to do something in this game, and if the other player can get to it first and do it, then it's like a really hard hit, like no matter who you are. So like learning from that too, because it's like people like that will also acknowledge like, hey, yeah, I outplayed you here, you did this mistake here, but there's also aspects of the game where it's like things got to go your way a little bit too, and having and understanding. So what I'm trying to get at is understanding from the talk of them is like, what is a misplay and what is just like that's the way it goes, because it's important not to convolute the two when you're looking at your play. But like for him, so I guess the next part on the same topic of what I play players that are better than me, deployment's a big thing. I look at how they're deploying, because deployment and movement, obviously, as the cliche goes, wins the game. A little bit easier now in this GHB, I find, to deploy horribly and still recover, depending on your army. This current one, I can just I'm 14-inch move.
Sure. Yeah. I'm the same way.
I'll just go where I want.
That guy's out of position and died. Oh no.
Oh no. And then like understanding what they view as a threat in your list, I think, is another key thing, because
that's a good one.
Because like you may think, this is my hammer and this is my whatever, but when you look at a certain matchup, to them, they're like, what is a threat to me? What do I have to kill first or avoid or outmaneuver or do whatever? So I think that's we kind of hit the most of it on stronger opponent. Now let's switch gears and talk playing not a weaker opponent per se, but like opponent with less skill level, newer to the game, new to their army, whatever it may be. Like we kind of talked about it with that one guy at the GW Open. What do you? How do you?
That is, it's a tough one for me, and it's simply because I don't self-value myself as a very highly skilled player. So when I play against somebody that I quote unquote think is not as skilled as I am or newer, to me, that probably means that they're really new to the game. And usually like with that young kid at the GW Open, after a game, if I feel as though I'm like, a higher skilled player or whatever, I will say, would you like some advice? Like if they're not asking me, what did I do wrong, or what should I have done, or I'll offer advice. And I always say, now you need to take this with a grain of salt because I'm not probably going to be giving you the most optimized, but from my standpoint, this is what I had seen. And if they say, no, I'm not interested, then that's cool. No problem. Whatever.
Yeah.
Because I know that some people just aren't at that point too, where they want to know. They're like, allow me to figure that out for myself.
Yeah.
Right? Some people learn better that way.
That's true.
So for like, those lesser skilled, quote unquote, lesser skilled players, it's tough for me because of where I think that I personally am in the game itself.
I regret to inform you, I think you're like 17th in Canada at the current moment.
And I know. I know. But that's what I'm saying is that
I get it.
Yeah.
Although it is interesting, and I would say a bit of a change since we really started going into this. I find it more this year than last year for sure. But like for background, Matt was into AOS before me. He was into it in third. He was playing a lot more in third. I got introduced to it in the store in third edition. But like going hard, I say hard, going consistently, competitively, going to events, practicing online, talking about in group chats. We haven't really done that until summer of, well, probably fall of 24 after the edition came out, more the winter in prep for LVO. But since then, it seems to me it feels like this is like gradual curve now, because there's things we're talking about, things we're doing now where I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have realized that a year ago, or because we've just played so many games of this. We've probably played, God, over 200 games.
I would easily say that. Yeah. I mean, my tournament games alone are probably triple digits.
Yeah. So
in the past year,
what I'm getting at is that, it's funny where it's like when you talk about self-evaluation, you kind of got to take a step back now too and realize like, I do have a lot of experience. Does that mean I'm a great player? No, but it means I have a lot of experience in seeing situations at whatever tier level you find yourself playing at, because that does not automatically translate to I have a lot of experience playing at the top table of whatever.
Exactly.
But it's still a lot of experience in the game rules and understanding mechanics. And talking about people who are new to the game, like you mentioned at the start, you realize that giants walk over stuff, can charge over stuff, right? And we got over like 200 games, but that happens to people, right? Especially if you're brand new and you don't get interactions, like the weirdo interactions with manifestations, move zero characteristic things, not moving after setting up, all the stuff like that. Yeah. For me, I think I lost an earbud there. I'm trying to think of it here. I try and suss out what the other player wants out of the game a little bit at the start. Not to say I ask them directly, but you can kind of get a vibe check on like, yep, they want a clock, they want a good, hard, competitive game, or they're talking about how their paint job is and like, look at this conversion, and they're super want to show off their stuff, or they're just like, I'm here to roll some dice and have a good time. Like you can kind of suss that out, and then I think you can modulate from there. I find myself modulating from there because like if the person wants a competitive game, sure, I'll give you a hard competitive game. I'm gonna try and play competitively anyways, but like I will be more respectful of like, you want to use a clock? Sure, we'll use a clock right away. You want to like do certain things in order? You want to call a judge right now? Like let's normal stuff you do anyways in a tournament. Whereas if you want to like kind of have fun and roll dice, I won't mind where you'd like ask me a question. I'll reiterate something to you a couple times. I find myself honestly reminding people a bit more if I can sense that they're new of stuff. Like when I see an interaction about to happen, I mean, I'll do it to it like more experienced on, but I find it's a little awkward sometimes. The experienced one, we're like, yeah, I know that. Okay, good. Like carry on. But like, I just see sometimes you just
go about your business.
Like, yeah, go about your business. But like talking to the guy that we played, the Stormcast player, there was things where I would be like, reminder, they have a 5 on board from this guy here. Yeah. And then just leave it at that. they make their decisions and make their gameplay off that. Or just reminder, I am in tied at the start of the game. I'm in tied -1 red. Stuff like that.
Reminder, I've got this and this ability
Yeah.
that could affect how you
exactly.
charge, or
So yeah, sussing out what they get out of the game. Yeah, and it's like I will fully admit to the audience. I say I use AI to try and help with show notes and try and get ideas flowing in the chat before we go. It posed a question in the show notes. Do you actually play differently when you think your opponent is worse than you? Be honest, most of us do, and that's worth unpacking. I'm not saying most of us do, but we have a sense of it. I will offer that. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if I notice that, like, okay, we're top of turn 3. I've got an opportunity to double to just like completely seal the game, but the score after 2 turns is like 25-6.
Mm-hmm.
And I could double and just that's it. Cool. GG. And I won't. I'll be like, no, because I'm looking to score points.
Yeah.
Maybe like assessing the situation, knowing that my opponent might not know the interaction, might not know how to, or just is not able to score 20 points in that turn. It's taken the foot off the gas so that both of us are having a good game.
Although, admittedly, like on that kind of subject, I find myself more and more really questioning the double now. Every time I get the opportunity to take it, I'm like, oh.
Yep.
I've handed the turnover a couple times. I'm like, no, you take it, fine. I don't care.
I've done this. I did it at the tournament like twice, where I was like, no. And it was because of a game that I played against Michael Sabetti, where he rolled a double, and he said, the only reason why I'm taking this double is because your army has the ability to retreat and charge. That's the only reason why. If your army couldn't retreat and charge, then I don't take the double. Because I was playing OBR at that point.
Yeah, even for me with I guess the kind of decision tree I go down with on the Adneth one is like, do I have Buddy that can retreat and charge? Do I score more points doing it? And if not, how many eels am I going to lose? And am I going to lose that hero? Like, I'm going to be locked where I am. If the answer is no, like if I lose 2 eels and Buddy is safe and sound, fine. He can
trade.
Take it, trade it, and then we'll go from there. And I think for me right now, I've learned on the 5 games I've played in this INET list, it's where am I in my tides. If I'm super early and I'm moving from like -1 to hit to like run and charge, like fine, whatever. But if I move and like if I'm into the strike first one, I'm like, and it dissuaded me. It did dissuade me in our game though, because I was like, even if I'm pinned, I'll just strike first the next turn. But like, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting stuff. But I think we move on to our last segment for discussion, and that being brain farts, i.e., forgotten triggers, forgotten abilities. Happens to us all.
Yep.
Warhammer is complex. AOS is streamlined in comparison to 40K and its brethren, but there's still timings where you'll miss things. And how far is too far in terms of that? So, there's an etiquette question too. So how do you approach when people forget triggers?
Me personally, I always say my general rule of thumb is go ahead and do your trigger unless there's been significant progress in the board state. Or it's like, oh, I did this, let's move into the movement phase. I've moved a couple of things, and you go, oh crap, I forgot to do this in the hero phase, which would have given these guys this ability, which would have, and so much has happened that I kind of go, no, I think too much has passed. But if I've done my hero phase and I start to move that first unit and my opponent says, oh crap, I forgot to do this. And I say, go ahead and do it. For me, it's like how much has progressed and how much extra information has my opponent received that could affect what that, like, it's I'm playing Stormcast and I get to give a unit a 5-up ward.
Mhm.
And I've done all of these things, and then something else, like, you cast a spell, and then I go, oh crap, I forgot to give my ward save, and I would have given it to that unit that you cast your spell on.
Mm.
And that's sort of like, I personally feel that too much has passed. And if I forget a trigger, I'm generally like, I've forgotten my trigger.
Yeah.
I'm gonna carry on. When I played Stormcast, if I forgot to hand out a 5-up ward, I would slap myself because that's a dumb thing to do. But if my opponent was adamant that I could hand it out, I would randomly roll between the units that could get it.
Mm.
And that was sort of my way of saying, listen, I forgot it. I appreciate that you want to give it to me, but I don't want to, like, quote unquote meta game knowing all of this extra information. So I've got 3 units that can benefit from it. I'll roll a D3 and that's the unit that will get it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm totally on the same wavelength. I think with timings, I think he hit a key term there. I mean, coming to the game from playing Magic a lot, it's how much information the opponent has. Like you said, the information drives the decision making, and if there's too much information, then it's just time past point on a lot of stuff. Like if it's too far gone, it's affected the board state. It's too much. I was doing some building today. I watched this live bat rep from a tournament, unnamed tournament, but it was a 40K. They were talking out the last turn, and Buddy draws his cards, right, the random cards they have, and says, "I get this and this," and then Buddy, the opponent turns to him and said, "Well, I would have done this and moved back." I'm like, "Would you have?" At the previous, talking about the previous turn, like, would you have? No, because
Right.
you have that information. And there was this huge, I'm not going to get too deep into this because there was a huge fight in the chat, and like the moderator like, stepped in. It was a thing on the channel. But that's the key point, though, I think, is that everyone was upset because they knew there's too much information. And sometimes it's just like, it's not being a dick, but it's just like, hey, I think there's just too much far gone for you to do that. Or, we're at such a state. And being consistent with it as well, right? Like consistent in terms of, if you are legitimately at a point where there's not information gone, don't say there's too much information because there's not information. Like, just be real with like what you're trying to put out there. So, for example, our game this week, he progressed through his hero phase. He was about to move model, and I was like, fuck, I forgot to declare the tide, and I'm like, haven't declared one. You're like, yeah, go ahead, okay, fine, because it wouldn't have impacted anything. There was literally a gap, because that's the beauty of AOS, is it's not a back and forth. It is a, you go, I do the thing, we progress to the next phase. You do the thing, I do the thing. And there's these clear spaces for the most part where you have seen all the information you're going to see, make your decisions based upon that. Now the opponent will make their decisions based upon what you have done or not done on that. So I think that's pretty good in terms of etiquette. What are your most, I'd say, for people that are watching, if they're newer at the game, what are some key triggers in the game, either core or relative to your army, that you think are easily forgotten?
I think that the most forgotten ones that I have seen, for every phase, it's rally in the hero phase.
Mm-hmm.
The number of times that I've seen opponents just miss a significant rally. I think at the double, like the auto run 6, I think that's used enough. I think covering fire, but like setting up for covering fire, like you are covering firing against me, and setting my models up so that I get to dictate which model you shoot at, or a unit you get to shoot at. And I think that is something that a lot of people forget, is that covering fire can be devastating. So against certain, like, I mean, Helmsmiths, for example. So it's making sure that you get to determine what unit is going to be covering fired is a really big thing. But hands down, the most forgotten is power through.
Yes.
Hands
100%.
down. Hands 100%. Down. Power through and banishing of manifestations.
Yep.
Where it's agree. It's forgotten so much, but power through definitely is the one that I've seen forgotten the most.
Yeah, I'd say power through. It definitely is one that people forget the most. I think for me, what people sometimes it's not so much forget. This is relative to the current GHB, change in the summer. Is the activate place of power that people don't understand when and where it happens and how it happens back and forth.
Yep.
And people don't understand, and I will say people, it was us up until halfway through this week, understand that there's a pre-designated steps for the start of the battle round.
That's
Because we
right.
were trying to figure out one game what thing went first. Was it the underdog thing? Was it the pick the priority target, the life cycle? That's what it was.
Right.
And there's a predetermined steps to that. I think it was easy for us at tabletop because we'll just like pause, someone pull up the book and read it. But at a game, you're just like, I picked that one. Okay. And you just move on, right? Like I've seen it before. I mean, I think I've done it because we didn't understand it when
Yeah.
we've done the GHB. So I think it's the start of battle round effects. Like say banishing one. Also, the it's so for army specific for me as I'm playing INET, it's the tides I'm finding so far. Even though it's super important, don't get me wrong, but it's like easy to forget that like there's some of them that are your hero phase and some that are like any.
Right.
And you're like, I'll just wait for my hero phase one. And they're like, no, I needed to declare that one now. I should have done. And you kind of just skip through the hero phase, and you're like, all right, go for it.
Yeah.
So for INET that one, and I'll offer a Hellsmith one. What do I forget all the time with Hellsmith? Hellsmith, I've forgotten it less now, but I've offered to the Hellsmith players out there, start obscuring stuff. Even if it's your blunderbuster sitting on it. Terrain, don't forget to do the obscuring roll. Because guess what? Death Streakers don't care. They can sit on it, they can shoot through it. But your blunderbusses care, so it keeps you safe, and then you have agency to move one model out, and then everyone is not obscured. And you can go from there.
And then redeploy back in if you need it.
I've done it. I've done this weird dance with the War Despot guy that has the aura of all the points. It's like he comes out, he does his thing, and then he like redeploys back into it before he gets nuked. So I'd say that. What do you think? So I guess the kind of last question on this one. How can someone improve their habits of not forgetting triggers?
There's a million different ways. Honestly, I think I know I've shown it before where I make little cards because I'm a type of person that I learn after I've written it down. So this was for my Flesh Eater courts. Having little cards like that is really good. Tokens are really big. And even if you have just like little recipe cards that you can write down, -1 ward or +1 to hit or whatever, is really big. And I know Sig decks has you can run through a turn.
Yeah, I use it a lot now. I kind of use it at tournaments now. Sig decks.
There used to be a place called AOS Reminders, and you could put in your army the war scrolls you were using, and it would give you a rundown of every phase on what you could do. The downside to it is that sometimes it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because there are some armies that do a lot and that have the potential to do a lot, but you're not using all of those things all the time.
No.
And it can slow down a game quite a bit. The biggest thing is just practice. Really, it's practice. Making sure that you remember 2 or 3 major things every game when you're first starting out with one, I think is really good. If you're at like a tournament, if you can remember them all, then you're awesome.
Yeah. Good on you for that, because better than me.
Yeah.
I would also offer that Sig decks, when you use Sig decks, you can close things. So I found when I first started using it, it's like super overwhelming because it has like all the manifestations and all stuff. So if you go in there before the game and you're like, close manifestations, I want to see it. I don't want to see prayers because I know my prayers. I'm not using prayers. And you just like leave the 3 things open that you know you forget all the time, then you'll see it more often as you go through. But like you say, practice makes perfect on that. All right. Well, I think that's good for that segment. I don't think we have any hobby today, do we?
No, I haven't done any hobbying.
Yeah,
The AOS related.
And I've just built stuff. What I will put up as we go through, we'll do one last look at Sparwood on the way out. See if our Night Hot friend. Let's refresh and see if our Night Hot friend got his win. Oh, not posted yet. Oh, Lumineth beat up on Lumineth. Oh, 76-6. Oof.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
Congrats to you though, Andrew. So that we're talking about that guy. Great guy. Darzakane player. 3-0 after day one. Great
Kendall's
job.
a good dude too.
He's a really good dude. He's running the same list practically, eh? It's
okay. Craig knows a couple of big guys.
You invited all these stepdads, now you deal with the consequences. Yeah, Stonehorn.
What is it? The Stag Falls?
It's a Stag Fall. And they actually, if you're watching this, they just put out a podcast on Friday. They've been gone for months and they just put one out. So go check that out.
Yeah. Saints of Stagfall. If you're interested, they're they mostly talk about like their tournament experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's good to hear as well. And they were, when we met them last year, they were super good dudes.
Super good dudes. This is going to be a good game. I'm going to watch for the result on this one.
Jared and Carson.
Yeah. That's going to be really good. Lionel's into Cruel Boys in round 3. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, and that is. Carl takes the loss against Olsgaard. This guy is the tournament organizer in the south of Alberta. He organized the one I went to in Lethbridge. He's a really good player. He actually used to play in Ontario.
Oh, really?
He said he moved from, I think it was GTA or Windsor. Michael Numera. Yeah, he's definitely, like, last 2 years he's moved here from Ontario, I believe. The son of Jared won against Sons of Behemoth. Oh, this guy's gonna make me play Housesmiths. Oh, I saw this. There's this Housesmith player there who's doing like super high scores, and I think if this is the one I'm gonna look at it, it's a normal list. And I was like, damn it. It tells you doing this for the normal list. Is this the normal list one? It is. Damn it. It's Demon Smith, Master, Restless, Urktar, 40 Infantry, another Infernal Taurus. Oh, this is kind of like the G's one. Demon Smith on Taurus, Blunderbusses, Bombard, Elder, Rocket Battery, Dude with Bane Maces, War Despot. Super good results. Damn. Wildling Hell Dwarves and the Big Gong Energy. It's gonna make me want to play. So
nope. You've already pledged, and it's on the internet now too.
It's on the internet now. That's right. Everyone, hold me to IDK. That's where we're at. But overall, decent episode. Good to chat about that stuff. Any last things you want to shout out before we call it quits on this one?
No, I think we're good.
I think we're good too. All right. With that, I will bid everyone adieu, and we will see you next time.